we then went on to this aspect of marriage, and then our sisters started the journey to trouble the water. And they said that one of the reasons why a lot of them are not married is because, number one, the guys of today are insecure. The guys of today are not sure of themselves. The guys of today are not ready to take responsibility. The guys of today has already prejudged them. So when they see a woman, because of the way the woman is dressed, because of the way the woman presents herself, they already conclude that this one is heavy load. They already conclude that, this one, it's money she's after. And they prejudge us as women. I'm talking on their behalf now. They prejudge us as women because they believe we are looking for money, as if we don't have our own money. That we have our money, so we don't need your money. Gone are the days when you think that we are looking for your money. And then, a brother now stood up and scattered the table in reply and said, it's easy for you people to say, but how many of you can start with a man in one room? That in Calvary now, we said marriage is one room. Meaning once you have a room, you have a bed. He said, but how many of all of you here can start with a man in one room? So I countered the brother. I said, you are actually doing exactly what they said you are doing. Because now you have already assumed that they can't stay in one room. Where did you get the idea from? Do you have an example of anybody that you wanted to marry that didn't marry you because of one room? He said no. But his friend was going out with a girl for 2 years, and when he now proposed, the girl said no. I said, okay. Then the sisters counter and said, look, me, they stood on one by me, I can stay in one room. Me, and so they started conversation. So it's not about room. One room is not the problem. Do you have a vision? Are you hardworking? Can you be trusted? That is not about one room, because you are talking of one room as if me, I'm not living somewhere before I met you. I'm living somewhere before I met you now. So if you are coming, if you have one room money and I bring one room money, we can have self-contained. But the problem is you have already concluded that, but while the sisters seem to be winning in the discussion, another sister came and now scattered the sisters' table. And now said, why you people say you want to start in one room? No problem, but hear my story. At the age of 18, I started with one man in one room. 6 years later, at the age of 24, he has 3 bedrooms, he has 2 cars, and the relationship ended. He said, me, how do you say, I am pulling him down, that I'm weighing him down. A man that I met in one room, that in 6 years became a homeowner with 2 cars. He said, me, I'm pulling him down. That so when you are saying you want to go and suffer with a man in one room, many of these guys are irresponsible. They will look for a woman that is ready to help them. When they are now in a stage where they feel they can choose anyone, they will now abandon you to go and choose anyone. And so while you are trying to suffer with a man from one room, shine your brain, shine everything, shine and well. But when the guys will counteract, they said, look, what people are saying, let us also bring our own personal experience. A brother now stood and said, in Calvary, not another church, Calvary Bible Church, where I have been for 10 years, me, I have spoken to 2 women, and they told me, Koro Koro, do you have a car? Do you have a house? And when I say I don't have car, I don't have a house, they are not ready. He says, so pastor, this one is not me, I'm a member for over 10 years. And these 2 sisters, they are inside church, Calvary to Calvary. Then while the sisters were making us, another brother stood up and said, look, sir, it's true. That in fact, I spoke to a lady. We are just gisting to say, okay, let me check her out. The first week, we have not spent 2 Sundays, 1 Sunday. Before the next Sunday, she was already calling me that their department wants to sew cloths. That I should pay for the cloths of their department. Calvary, so that before we continue master class, this one at the master class. that these sisters are too demanding. They are materialistic. And at the end of the day, they are so shallow that you sit down with them, you can't have an intelligent conversation. That when you sit down, one brother said, you sit down in a date of like 3 hours. You are the one talking. She doesn't have anything to say. The next thing, she's on her phone. Even in your date that you are paying for. That's so, is it not better to now? And then another brother said, sir, I bought a used car. Not Tokumbo, Nigerian second hand. That the very minute I bought the Nigerian second hand, my phone did not rest. Sisters were calling me, Calvary sisters. Calling me, hi, you want to hang out? Hi, what are you doing next Saturday? Can you take me? I have a wedding. Can we go together? That the sisters were on him. Then, because it's a second-hand used car, while the car they give him trouble, he now sold the car. That the very minute he sold the car, nobody was calling him again. Calvary sisters. That nobody was calling him again. That for weeks, his phone will go, no call. And that one of the people that used to trouble him even passed by his side. I didn't even acknowledge him, just walk up past as if he doesn't exist. So then the sisters came up again. So it was on and on and on and on. But one other thing that I see, because people kept talking of, no, I need to have some money, I need to have this, I need to have that. But one of the brothers came with a very important fact. He said, look, what you guys are calling demand and pressure from the sisters is actually for your own good. Because are you not going to have a house to marry? Are you going to marry into your mother's house? If you have a car, is it not for your own good? Are you not going to move around? That's so when you are saying that they are demanding, they are pressure, don't you think that many of you are pursuing relationship too early? You are actually supposed to pursue vision and pursue destiny to get to a place where you can now begin to talk of going into a relationship. And he gave his own story of how for like 4 years of his life he had to abandon relationship because he suffered. How that even to pay transport fare to go and see the girl he didn't have. And he realized that it was just struggle, unnecessary pressure, and the thing was heartbreak 2 times. He now told us about face your life, face your vision. And that now things are picking up. And a lot of the guys seem to still have this idea of, I need to have this, I need to have this, I need to have this, I need to have this before I marry. And I made them to understand that any journey of faith that excludes faith is not a journey of faith. So if you claim to be a child of God and the element of faith and the element of believing God for things in your life has been removed from your journey, you are operating in error. Because we have become so materialistic and we have become so carnal and calculative that we want to understand everything before we embark. And it does not work like that. Then we had a very, maybe 2 major things that came up that I want us to discuss. Then I go into the new, we'll now continue the manual. One is, the sisters came up with the fact that, sir, we are not married sometimes, not because we, as the sisters, are not ready to marry or go ahead with the guys, but our parents. That our parents put us under pressure to marry, but at the same time, they are the one hindering us from marrying. They are putting you under pressure to marry, but at the same time, they want to determine who you marry, where he comes from, his financial status, the kind of wedding you should do. So when you see a guy that has vision, that has one room, that is going somewhere, and you love him and you believe you can start together, your parents will now say, never. I suffer with your father. You too want to go and suffer. That's why most of the parents want to live their failed life through their children. Most of the parents see, after I sent you to school, you want to go and start with one poor man like your father. That's why most of the parents are putting them under pressure to be materialistic. So they don't want them to marry for love. The parents want them to marry for financial security, so that they can get someone to come and take care of the family trouble. And if that is truly the case, now if you are here today, you are a parent, you have a child that is 13 years and above, stand up. You are parents, you have a child that is 13 years and above, because you are the culprits. So that I should give the message to you, you are the problem now. So you are here, you are the people that they are sending me to. Now, listen and listen well. There are many of you standing up right now, and you know a lot of people. When you started out, there was nothing. But today, together, working with your spouse, things are getting better. You cannot live your life through your children. Stop putting these young children under unnecessary pressure. Your children are not your retirement plan. Your children are not an economic plan. So all this idea of you giving birth to children, you now want them to go and be bringing money for you, it is an error. And if you are a Christian parent and a kingdom parent, we cannot be adding to the problem of our children, because they say you people want big wedding. That even when they want to just do small wedding, say, no, my friend, this person did wedding. How can it be said that my own child wants to do wedding? If you want your child to do big wedding, sponsor the big wedding. If you don't have the money to sponsor the big wedding, don't put anybody under unnecessary pressure. And I am using this opportunity to officially inform you and let them know that they should come and report you to me. When you become part of that kind of parents in this church, they will report to me. I will bring you to the altar and give you microphone to explain yourself to the church. Maybe there is a revelation you have that we don't have, that you think that to do big wedding is better than to buy a land or build a house for your children. To do big wedding is better than to give them money to start business. To do big wedding and please all your people that don't know you is better. So let us not add to the process. So those of you that have children now, so you know I started from 13. So go and start talking to your daughters now. They should have their own. Because when they have their own, they will not be getting married because they are looking for a sponsor. They will not be getting married because they are looking for economic sustenance. They'll be getting married because they have found a destiny partner. And two of them coming together will make things better. We will not fail in Jesus' name. God bless you. I think I've covered everything. It's only genotype remaining. So there is one other aspect that a lady brought up, that what do we do, that one of the reasons why people don't get married early, apart from a lot of other things that we shared, is this issue of genotype. And that most of the time, so what wisdom should be applied with reference to that. So I want to speak to that also, because it's possibly something that affects few people. Please listen. I've taken you on a journey in the last few weeks, and we have learned that you don't fall in love. We've seen attraction, we've seen all kinds of things. So when you already identify that you are beginning to have feeling and affection for someone, or someone is getting close and you are sensing that this thing may open a floodgate of love, that is the time to have this serious discussion. Because once your emotion is attached, your brain goes on sabbatical. That's why they say love is blind. Love is not blind though. But when people are in love, they are blind to reality. And when you are blind, marriage will open your eyes. You will now realize that because those jiggy that is doing you, it will soon go down when life eats you. So before you enter that jiggy level, that's the time to ask the intelligent, serious-minded questions. And one of the questions you need to ask at that point is the genotype question. Because once you are identified that the genotype thing is not compatible, God has told us, science has told us, experience has told us. Don't wait for your own experience, thinking your experience will change the story. Just know that I love you, but we cannot go on beyond this point. Question: if you fall in love, I'm using fall now, if you fall in love with someone and discover the person is your cousin, or the person is your sibling, a child that your father has with a side chick that you are not aware of, will you continue the love? So the love will quickly die straight. That's the same way you should die when you discover that the genotype is not compatible. Don't say, but I love you. Don't get it, all those corrupted love. It's a mental problem. Hello? And don't also get into this foolishness that you say you are having faith. Faith does not deny facts. So if you have faith that the blood group or the genotype will change, let your faith change it before you marry. So the faith should be exercised before you marry. Not you marry believing that, oh, you know, maybe out of 3 children, the first one, you now begin to do all those calculations. I can tell you stories upon stories upon stories of people that tried that permutation, it didn't work. And that love you think you have, when you bring a sickle seller into this world, when the trouble starts, 2 of them go to fight every day. That love when I get, you go see say love is not enough. I hope with this viewpoint of mine, I've been able to give you a review.